Okay, and we're live. Oh, this hasn't gone live yet. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our monthly tournament here at Grey Ogre Games. It's the Grey Ogre Games Invitationals 2018, and this is the first monthly of the year. My name is Mick. I'm one of your hosts alongside Jensen Go.
Hey, what's up, people? Changing from casting League to casting some Magic the Gathering. Excited to bring you
Yeah.
the action here together with Mick.
Yeah, okay, so when you're casting League, right? Do you are you playing? No, you're spectating, right?
No, I'm
You're
unfortunately I'm
playing,
not
so
good
you
enough to play, so I'm just spectating and
okay,
getting into
okay,
the action. But I think
that's good.
talking about action, we
Mm-hmm.
already see the first lands being developed. We see,
Yep.
I do believe there's a Tolera West being played
Yeah.
from Pichun.
So Pichun's deck, he's playing the Amulet Titan deck. If some of you are familiar, Pichun is our last year one of the seasonal qualifier winners for 2017, I think SQ2. And yeah, he made a pretty good run in the invitationals just last week. Of course, using this deck in the qualifying rounds, or not the qualifying rounds, the standard, the seeding rounds. And yeah, he went like 2-0 with this deck and proceeded to top his group. And looks like Ray here is playing Storm. Wow, okay, a quick gifts ungiven from Ray.
So talk to me a little bit about this modern format. I mean,
Okay.
I'm kind of
Oh, so
new to
you're
the game a little bit,
okay.
so I'm not too sure about what's happening. But from what I hear, modern is a very explosive format. You see people build up things for the first 3 turns, then turn 4, 5, 6 is where the fireworks happens. So I think we've just seen the first 3 turns happen. What are we setting up for, and who's in prime position to win?
Okay, so both these decks are generally combo centric decks. Okay, so Ray's deck is the Storm deck, which works on this mechanic called Storm, where when you cast a card and it has Storm on it, it creates when you cast it, it creates copies of itself, equal to the number of spells that you cast before this spell. So usually the win conditions are Empty the Warrens, which is 4 mana. Create 2/1/1 Goblin tokens. But it has Storm. So if you played like 10 spells before that, you have 11 copies of Empty the Warrens on the stack. And so what Storm wants to do is just to cast as many spells as you can in one turn, and then yeah, I'm just watching what's happening, and then go off with your payoff, which is usually Empty the Warrens or what's that other card? Uh,
Any form of burn
Grape
spell
Shot, yeah,
or
Grape Shot, yeah,
replicate itself.
yeah,
Grape Shot was the card.
yeah. So Pichun's deck, on the other hand, also a combo deck, but he uses this thing called Amulet of Vigor. And Amulet of Vigor allows you. Let's bring out Amulet of Vigor. It's not a.
I'm
Uh,
guessing Valakut shenanigans that we're doing
no, 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 no. Nothing to do with Valakut. So let's bring out Amulet of Vigor here.
Interesting.
Oh, oh, it's a little bit off. That's weird. Oh,
Okay, there we have it.
okay, there we go. All right, so whenever a permanent enters the battlefield tapped under your control, you mm, under your control, untap it. That's it. And so it works with. Oh, okay.
So the Amulet of Vigor is gonna be
So it works with sorry.
giving him lots of mana together with the Primeval Titan's effect.
Yes, both with the Primeval Titans effect as well as what we have here are the Karoo lands. They are they're lands that produce 2 mana when it enters the battlefield tapped. And when it enters the battlefield, you gotta bounce a land back to your hand. So you gotta push a land back to your hand. So what happens is that you lay, let's say, something like a Simic Growth Chamber. Okay, enters the battlefield tapped. It untaps itself. You tap it, and then you bounce something back to your hand, and then you use something like Azusa, or you use what we see the Sakura Tribe Scout, I think, where you can constantly keep putting lands onto the battlefield, and this is turn 3, and Pichun has a Primeval Titan out on the battlefield. So that's how explosive Pichun's deck gets. And when he attacks with the next, or when he attacks with the Primeval Titan, whoa. Okay. When he attacks with the Primeval Titan, he'll get 2 more lands from his deck. It enters the battlefield tapped. And it will untap itself and so forth and so on. So he'll continue all these shenanigans until until his opponent's dead. So yeah, it's a pretty fun deck. But well, now we see Ray trying to resolve a Baral, and that gets met with a Pact of Negation, unfortunately.
I love the dice on top of Pichun's deck, just making sure that he pays the upkeep costs so that he doesn't immediately lose the game.
Yes.
There used to be a dirty tactic where people, after they untap, they ask them, how many cards do you have in hand? And then it's like, okay, I've got 4, I'm going to draw one. Oh, you just lost
that's
the
it.
game.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, Pact, you gotta be a bit careful when you're playing with Pact. Like it's, we're playing competitive REL today. All the judges are around. At least just myself and, just myself. I think Cass is aspiring judge, hopefully, and Danny is also aspiring judge. But yeah, we're going around, answering questions, and if you happen to catch your opponent off guard like that, that's an immediate loss. Yeah. So packs are quite painful if you forget. But Pichun's been playing this deck for he's been playing his deck for a while. Very, very unlikely that he'll forget to pay his pack triggers.
Well, you never know. Sometimes you just don't have your morning coffee. So
Yeah,
it's always
it's-
good to have the dice on top of your deck.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a very good it's a very good practice. It's
But he does buy himself a turn with the Pact of Negation. It looks like it's the untapped step.
Yep.
And he
So
is
it's-
going to be paying for the Pact of Negation.
mm-hmm.
It's a successful evasion
of losing the game. Yeah, let's try not to lose the game. Yeah. But yeah, like we say, I mean, like Pichun has been piloting that. If I'm not wrong, like he's in Singapore at least, he's the forefront of piloting this deck. Like he knows this deck in and out. Like famously in the interview that we did with him, which you can find on youtube.com/grillgames. Like I asked him, how long have you been playing this deck? It's long, really long. And every time I think there's no out, there's absolutely no. I'm looking at the deck list. I'm looking at his deck list. I'm going through like, do you have an out to this? And
I don't think he's drawing for outs here. I think with
no, he's drawing for the win. Yeah, exactly. So goes in with the Primeval Titan. Gonna look for there we go. Cassic Wolf Run as well as another land. Taps everything, pumps into Cassic Wolf Run, and that's the game. Ray just doesn't have the means to fight against this. Against this deck without counter spells. So we're gonna go to sideboarding. And so you mentioned Modern, quite explosive. Yeah,
Very
this
explosive. We just saw a turn 4 kill.
Turn 4 kill, yeah.
1, 2, 3. It's about preparing the soup base, getting everything ready. Then turn 4, you chuck everything in the microwave. You press the button, and it doesn't even count down. It just kind of explodes.
Yeah, it just explodes. Yeah. Ray's deck on the other hand, he can go off on turn 3. Very, very easily. Like, you get your Baral on turn 2, you get your Goblin Electromancer on turn 2. And then on turn 3, like, you can go off, like, you Mana Morphose, and you can start chaining Mana Morphoses together. And once you resolve, with enough mana, once you resolve a Gifts Ungiven, like, that's the end of the game.
So that looks like you kind of described the post-board matchup, where the Storm player, he kind of wants to draw the God Hand. He wants to draw the nuts and then explode in his opponent's face on turn 3 itself.
That's true.
Before the Primeval Titan can get his shenanigans going. But post-board, you mentioned something about counter spells. Are we going to see the Storm player board into a slower version that wants to play a much stronger disruption package, so that he's got an option of playing a longer game against this
Amulet Titan deck. Yeah. So Ray here just wants So he plays some number of remands in the deck, or at least to my knowledge, some Storm decks don't play remands. But I believe if Ray wants to get the advantage here, he needs to play some form of remands in his deck. And artifact destruction. Like once you get rid of the Amulet Titan, like it significantly slows down Pichun, but it doesn't stop him. Once your opponent gets up to, I've seen Pichun like deal with 0 Amulet, 0 Amulet of Bloom on the battlefield, and still wins on like turn 5, turn 6. So, you have to be careful when you're playing against the deck, and because this deck isn't popular, because not a lot of people play this deck, like there's not a lot of articles that are written how to play against this deck, and so it is very much it's very much an extremely popular rogue deck.
I mean, I
This is
myself
really
made
strange.
a mistake when I saw the red green lands coming. I saw the Tolera West on turn one. I thought, is this mono blue living end?
Oh no
And
no
then
no.
he started to play GT Amulet, and it's like, is this a red green through the breach kind of shenanigans, or is this red green scape shift that we're seeing? Turns out it's an Amulet deck. I mean, I was just doing some very preliminary research, but this
It's like-
Amulet Titan deck didn't even show up on that.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. So this is in fact the rogue deck, but it's one of the most like well defined or well defined rogue decks that if you know how to pilot this deck, it's consistent. It is fantastic. And before Summer Bloom was banned, I don't know if you know this card called Summer Bloom. Let's see.
Let's bring it up on the screen.
Yeah. So Summer Bloom was this card that just enabled this deck to go crazy. You may play up to 3 additional lands this turn, and so you go turn 1, you go Amulet of Vigor, and then turn 2 you go Summer Bloom, and then you go crazy. You cast or you lay another 3 of those Karoo lands. Okay, so you lay it on the battlefield, you tap it it untaps, you tap it for mana, you return it back to hand. So that same land, all you needed is that one land. Do it 3 times. You get a Primeval Titan.
Too. Wow, that is
Titan
really fast.
Enters the battlefield. You look for Boros Garrison, and you look for the Sunhome. Not Sunhome. Boros Garrison
Red
and
white Karoo land, so that you can give it haste and I think first strike, I believe.
not the red white this thing, but yeah, that red white land that gives it haste and vigilance. Haste, vigilance, and +2/+0. So very very fair, right? So endless battlefield. Give Titan haste. You swing in. You look for the other Karoo land, and Sunhome. So now you look for Karoo land and Sunhome. Untap, tap, and give it double strike. So it gets +2. So it basically deals 16 points of damage on that second turn.
Wow, that sounds absolutely disgusting. We're looking at
Yeah.
like a turn 2 kill. So with the banning of Summer Bloom, this deck has slowed down to about turn 3 to turn 4. So turn 3 setup, turn 4 kill that we're looking at over here, right?
Yes, that's true. I haven't seen. I think there's a possibility to go turn 3 kill. Yeah. But you need like two amulets on the battlefield.
So at the moment, I think both players are done sideboarding. It's a very difficult process to plan your sideboard, especially
Yeah.
when you're dealing with a metagame full of rogue decks and a metagame as wide as Modern itself. I'm just looking at there's just so many decks available. You have Abzan variants, you have
Yeah.
control variants. There's like Jeskai control, Grixis control.
Yep.
And I do believe some people are playing Buns. There's Bun Nightfall, there are Bun Spirits,
Mhm.
and the most popular decks as well, Affinity, and all these different decks they require different hate packages to deal
Oh
with.
yeah.
And some people say, you know what, screw all of that. I'm just gonna play mono white hate bears. I'm not sure if that deck still
Yeah, I'm just
exists in
gonna-
Modern.
I'm gonna put in all the hate in the main board. That still exists for sure. So players are done sideboarding. Let's check in the chat. Those Haruruya, so Pony Plock saying those Haruruya sleeves look sick. Yeah, these are the new ones. They have the red one. So previously it was the yellow Haruruya sleeves. These are the red or blood orange ones, and then there's the orange ones as well. Ray looks like he's gonna mulligan. Ilham says, "Yo, Mick, what's up?" And says that the other mic is not loud enough. Okay, I'm adjusting slowly. Yeah.
So one of the things about mulliganing when I was learning how to play Magic
Mm-hmm.
is you really need to think about how aggressively you want to mulligan.
Oh
And
yeah.
from the looks of it, Modern is a very fast moment. You definitely have to mulligan very aggressively. If you're looking for the remand, if you're looking at hand, I'm not going to be able to kill him on turn 3 if I don't draw these cards.
Yeah.
In that kind of scenario, you just got to chuck it. Even if you have turn 1 place, you have the right amount of lands, you have to go for the 6 cards, drop 1 card down, go for the scry, and try to go for something where it puts you in a position where you can win the game. And looks like he is now it's a 2-lander that he's facing. He has the Mana Morphos that I
Which
see
is
in
great.
hand.
Yeah, it's exactly. He's got Manamorphose as well as.
Do we see a remand?
Is that a remand? No, that's not a remand. I think that's an opt. Okay, but I mean, like, he's got a Metamorphose, he's got, Gutter Snipe on turn 2. So, Pichun here needs to be able to interact with that Gutter Snipe, else, he might be losing a game. Yeah, he's cried that to the top. So, this is what, what you're describing, like, we've talked about this ad nauseum, where the mulligan is not a penalty. That -1 card is not a penalty. That -1 card is or mulligan is the reward, you know. Mulliganing is just rewards good play, good decision making. You keep a hand, and like you mentioned, in modern, it's a hand that you keep to win, not a hand that you can keep to play. We talk about like limited, and we talk about standard. These are hands that you keep, and it's like, oh, okay, it's not bad. I got lands, I got spells, I should be happy. Especially in limited, like limited, you look at your hand. Oh, I got 3 lands and I got 3 drop. Okay, I'm keeping this hand. Whereas in modern, like, you could keep a 0 lander on the draw, and you keep a 0 lander, but your hand is just stacked to win. And if you draw 2 lands within the first like 3 turns, like, you're gonna win this game. So this is the difference between, I mean, like, good housekeeping, I suppose. Okay, here we go. So this is when the Storm player like wants to go off, then you see them take out all these weird cards and stuff like that, and they'll tell you, oh, okay, I've got this amount of mana, I've got this. So
That gives him 3 red mana, I think.
yep, 3
And
red
that's the
mana,
storm
1 storm
is
count,
one,
yeah.
one on the right.
So 2 storm counts, 1. Okay, so converts that to 2 blue, 2 red. So he gains extra mana off the Metamorphose. So Metamorphose is supposed to convert back to 2 mana. But instead converts to, now 4 mana. Okay, so he's going to keep 1 red mana up. Gives.
Well, I mean, the important question that I have here is whose face is he putting that dice on?
Yeah, that's an interesting. That looks like a BattleTech card. A very, very old BattleTech card, but I don't think so. Must be one of the pro. Oh, is that Calvin Chu? I don't know.
Well, I mean, sometimes you put the right person's face below your dice. I do believe you're going to draw better. If you put the wrong person's face, I can imagine putting some... I'm not going to mention names here, but you don't really want to be looking at some people's face where you're
Well, that guy better be like
trying to dig for cards.
That guy better be some like prolific like Storm player, else like it's just cursing, cursing this matchup. Let's see, Ray here gonna look for Pass in Flames. That looks like a Noxious Revival, and oh no, another Metamorphose, as well as 2 rituals. So man, Pichun's
no
a bind
counter
here.
spells there. He's just going for the all-in package.
Yeah,
Just
he's playing the win. I think he might have Grape Shot in hand. And if he doesn't, hopefully he's going to draw into it, because he's got now Past in Flames, which means that he can recur the Gifts Ungiven from the graveyard as well. So, yeah, let's see. Blue Diamonds MTGO saying we called it Mech Warrior when it was a card game. Yeah, that's true. Was Mech Warrior? No, right? I played this game. Was it BattleTech or Mech Warrior? Now I can't remember. Oh man.
back in your time.
Back in my time, right?
Back
Yeah.
in your time. But here at Old Pepper Ridge Farm, we are still comboing off with Storm.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay, so
10-minute turn 3. What do you search for? What do you want to play? I think the Gifts Ungiven us resolved. We kind of missed that, trying to figure out if it's called Mech Warrior or Battletech.
anyway, no,
It is the Past in Flames that he does
Yeah.
go for.
so Pass in Flames. Pass in Flames goes in the graveyard, but Pichun here. Ooh. Okay.
He's going to be transmuting that, I think.
Wow.
Oh no, he's just going for the... Is that Spell Snare?
No, that's a Swan Song. Oh man, that is some sweet tech there from Pichun, and now Ray is just, Ray caught a little bit off guard. Pichun, I neither have I seen, this Swan Song, but it's a strong card. I'm surprised we don't see more Swan Songs, being played in Modern.
So we were talking about the counterspell package possibly coming for the Storm player, but perhaps on the draw in Modern, that's where you want the counterspells package, because you're now a turn beyond your opponent,
Yeah.
and you want the ability to slow them down.
Mm-hmm. So that was wow.
Interesting tech choice. Interesting tech choice from Pichun.
So by force here. No, he doesn't have to pay that one extra. Yeah, yeah. He can just use the 1 mana for Bifrost. And gonna slide off hand, try to set up his draws for the next few turns. So Pichun also slowed down significantly. Ray here, Ray needs to just get his hand back up to size.
He definitely has to be feeling the pinch from that one. 7 storm counters and all those cards back in the deck box.
Yeah,
there we
exactly.
go. All those cards back in the deck box.
Please get them off the river. So wow, Pichun really just surprises every single time, and yeah, Ray just caught super off guard there. Didn't consider the Sakura tribe, and it didn't make sense because you wouldn't attack with a Sakura Scout into the Goblin Electromancer, so you leave it back on defense. And you wouldn't think that maybe Pichun can just cast stuff in his head, maybe as a remand or maybe as as we saw a Swan Song. So Gemstone Cavern here.
I mean, it's Pichun's turn to go off. He does not have the Amulet in play.
Alright, gonna bounce Tolera West. I'm gonna transmute Tolera West for probably a Pact of Negation. Yeah, there we go. So Pact of Negation in hand, just to prevent himself from dying again.
I mean, with 2 cards in Ray's hand, is it even still possible the Storm player can go off?
Yeah, if you have... Okay, so what Ray needs now is just a land. And let's see. He needs a land, untapped land, as well as, Gifts Ungiven, which he has in hand. So it's possible for him to go off as... or not go off, at least set up his next turn. So if he goes Gifts Ungiven... Wow. I think you take the land first. So you resolve the first Gifts Ungiven, right? And you do that, set up for the next turn, look for another Gifts Ungiven or look for a Past in Flames. What package you'll probably get is, another... What package you'll probably get is 3 rituals, Manamorphose, 2 other rituals, as well as Past in Flames.
I see. So
Then he'll go.
find things to choose between the Mana Generation and the Past in Flames.
Yeah,
And
and
then
obviously
the Mana
like
Generation package, he has to be worried about a great shot and potentially more card draw off that.
yeah. Well, okay. So if you give him the Past in Flames in hand, then that's a bit difficult because he can cast it for less mana. So he casts it for 3. He has at least 1 mana generation spell with him. So as long as you give him, as long as you give him 1 mana generation spell, like it's probably game over for you. Like Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual, or a Manamorphose, and it's just going to be a tough game. But of course, Pichun
Going
here
for
has
safe play, but
yeah.
not too much action coming through from
from
Ray.
Pichun. Oh yeah.
He did try to scry and he did get his 3rd land in the end. But he does pass the turn back over. Now Pichun's turn. Will it be his chance to put pressure onto Ray?
Alright, so summoning pack here. And what is he summoning for?
I wonder. I'm probably guessing Primeval Titan.
Okay, so it could be a Primeval Titan or it could be a Traktas. Because he's only got 5 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's more likely that it's a Traktas, just to keep him alive.
To stop the beatdown from the goblin from the god snipe, is it?
Yeah. Oh no, he looks for a Primeval Titan. Am I missing something that he's got extra mana?
I think
Oh.
he had 1 floating earlier.
Oh yeah, 1 floating. Okay. Alright.
But no.
Oh
emblem
right,
in
right,
play.
yeah. He did have 1 floating from the Gemstone Mine, Gemstone Cavern earlier. Okay, so Primeval Titan. And then so this is where you see that this deck like starts to go off even without Amulet of Bloom. Or Amulet of Vigor, sorry. And Bajuka Bog is a very nice answer to the Storm player. And now, Ray can't set up again. Like, now he has to set up all over again. Previously, he had, if he had Gifts Ungiven, he could pass in flames, get back all the spells in his graveyard, and now it's all gone, and that's very sad. So, yeah, Pichun there being very proactive about the graveyard. So he does have the Gemstone Mine or Gemstone Cavern, sorry, back in hand. Gemstone Mine is a very different card.
So it's a very methodical dismantling that we are seeing here from Pichun. Firstly, taking the pack of negation in hand,
Yeah.
and then the summoning pack for the Primeval Titan to get the Bojuka Box, removing the graveyard, and once again crippling Ray. So far, we talked about the post-board, perhaps where the Storm player would want to try to bring in some tech against the Amulet Bloom, but it is actually Pichun who is surprising us with the Storm Crow, and then now just
Oh, so-
aggressively removing the Storm player's options.
Yeah. Cool. Oh man, Ray is just gonna have a hard time trying to resolve stuff.
I think his best chances are right now try to slow down Pichun as much as possible, and then try to get in with as much as possible with the Crow, draw enough, and go for a grape shot for about 8, 9, or 10 points.
Yeah. So
It's probably
I think that's
pending.
the only out that he has right now.
Does he even have any solutions to Primeval Titan on board?
No. Well, not even like, unless you want to spend your grape shot, like your 6 copies of grape shot on the Primeval Titan, which I highly don't recommend. Like if that's 6 points of damage, it goes to the face. So there's no, it's going to be very difficult when for Ray to get rid of the Primeval Titan, but it's not difficult for Ray to win in this. Possibly to win this. So
Pichun does remember to pay for the summoning pack, so there's one
Yep.
out less for Ray, although I wouldn't really count on it.
yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, so he's gonna go Talaria West. Yeah, there we go. So Talaria West and the and a Simic Grove Chamber. He's gonna bounce the Talaria West. He's gonna transmute that Talaria West for something just as useful. So probably a summoning pact or another pact of negation. I don't know how many packs of negation that Pichun runs, but he's got to play safe at this point. So we always mention about, so Talaria West. So we always mention about when you're ahead in the game, what can make me lose this game? We always talk about that, like, and so Pichun's here being extremely cautious, extremely careful. Okay, this is the thing that will kill me.
I mean, he has 2 pack of negations in hand right now, and that's the end of turn Gifts Ungiven.
So you might just want to fire off 1 pack of negation now.
I mean, what could he be possibly thinking about over here? If I'm Pichun and the way you've been describing things, I'm just gonna slam the pack of negation down on the table.
He could wait. Okay, so here's the thing. Now Pichun, after being proactive last turn, now he can wait. He can allow this pack to go off, get Ray to just fire off spell after spell after spell. Doesn't matter. The first time he wants to fire off that Pass in Flames, then I counter that.
So there's 2 windows where he can kind of come in. One is with the Gifts Ungiven, so that you can't get a setup.
Yep.
The second is when he goes with the Boston Flames.
Yeah.
But with no graveyard available, wouldn't it just be more valuable to slam the pack of negation down right here?
No, actually, no. Without the graveyard, it's more valuable. It's probably better to wait for him to try to build up his graveyard. Well, yeah. So you want to prevent the graveyard from building up, but you know that Ray is going to have a hard time trying to fill up his graveyard with even more things now, because whatever it is, Pichun is just going to give him, so whatever Gifts Ungiven package he looks for, Ray, Pichun's just going to give him you put in the graveyard a Pass in Flames and probably a Desperate Ritual. So when he goes for that Pass in Flames, like, that's when you counter the spell. But on Pichun's side, like, he doesn't know if Ray has, maybe a white land or a white source and a Path to Exile, and so Pichun had just being cautious, more cautious than he needs to, and just don't do it. He can pay for it. The thing is, he can pay for the pack of negation. Just that, it's going to slow him down, so he won't be able to win next turn. So that's the consideration he's making. That he's thinking about.
Well, he is in a race against the bird that's pinging him one turn at a time.
Yeah, but honestly speaking, like there's just so much that on Pichun's side of the board. Yeah, Ray's kind of in a bind. Like he doesn't have the gifts ungiven. So he went to fetch for the steam vents. So just now when he Serum Visions like 2 turns ago, he left a land. So in that order, land and then Serum Visions being sorry, not Serum Visions, the gifts ungiven as the next card. And you know and he went to fetch a land, so the gifts ungiven is now somewhere in the deck, but he did not draw it. But
Also,
Ray has a counter spell, yeah.
Ray definitely feeling the pinch over here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the term we use to describe these kind of situations is a long death animation. We're looking at a 3-turn death animation.
Long death animation.
I think from the way you describe it, he might have those kind of miracle runner outs that he can still draw into, considering that this is a storm deck.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 life, if he draws a whole bunch of mana morphoses, cantrips into his miracle grape shot for 10 together with the guarded snipe, still could be possible.
It's possible.
Still
It's
could be
possible. Yeah, it's possible, but the cantrips they do the cantrips do take up mana. They don't generate for you mana except for mana morphos and the rituals. The rituals don't draw you cards. So Ray just has to get pretty damn lucky. Another attack with the birds, that's 8. If you can attack in with the Goblin Electromancer, which I highly doubt, that'll be, it's only 6. But wow, whoa!
What's that card? Who's that Pokemon?
Alright, this one, favorite card. This makes sure that he will not lose. Oh, there we go. Rurikta the Unbound. This card is hilarious. So it's got Vigilance, Reach. Rurikta the Unbound attacks each turn if able. And then whenever a player casts a non-creature, okay, so he bounces that spell, but he's going to take 6.
That brings
on
him
top of
down
that, yeah.
to 1.
So when it attacks, when a player casts a non-creature spell, Rurikta deals 6 damage to that player. That's a lot of damage. I'm just saying, that is crazy amounts of damage. So here we go, Mana Morphos. Pichun's gonna allow that. Alright, let's set up.
There you go. The 3
No,
cards
he's
back
gotta-
in
yeah.
the center of table.
He's gotta pray. So I think here you go for like double blue instead of double red, because you want cantrip. Yeah, you see. So now you gotta pay blue.
I mean, he still has 3 untapped lands available, so
He's still got 3
that
untapped
decision
lands, but
isn't gonna hurt him too badly.
not yet. But you could be using a blue more effectively. And I don't think it's enough. What's that spell he has in hand? That's not opt. That is.
I spy with my little eye.
Is that a bounce spell?
Blue color card in hand.
I think that's a bounce spell, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're just waiting here in anticipation, the same way Ray is. I mean, he has all the information, but Pichun has to be feeling it. What did he draw? What could he be possibly doing?
I think Pichun's like, yeah, okay. I still have this other pack of negation in hand,
That's true. That's true.
which doesn't bode well for Ray. He knows the thing is he knows that. All right, so 3 copies of Great Shot, 1/1 and 1 to you. He's gonna put another land on the battlefield.
I mean, there is a Keswick Wolf run in play, right?
Yeah. So beat you for another 4. Brings him down to 5. He needs like bolt or something to that effect. Because he's got a bounce spell. So
That buys him another turn.
no, if Pichun here, okay, so Pichun,
Oh, he's just got a pack of negation to bounce.
Yeah, he's
spell
got-
and
yeah, exactly,
crash
he's
it for
got-
the game.
time to
So-
show him the money.
Upkeep. Draws. So Pigeon knows about that bounce spell, yeah.
Oh, it's the second one. Is there any land I can search to give it haste?
There is, but it doesn't enter the battlefield untapped.
Because
It'll
there's
just-
no Emblem
yeah.
of Vigor.
Right. Okay, so Slayer's Stronghold. Yeah, that's the card. Slayer's Stronghold. That is the card in the name of the card. It's on the top of my tongue. Okay, so that's pretty smart. Plays that Slayer Stronghold, brings Slayer Stronghold, puts it back in hand. He's going to play Slayer Rurik Tar first. In response, you gotta bounce something. Maybe.
I mean, this is just very methodical from Pichun.
Yeah, so it's very
He's giving us a master class in how do you play
this Amulet Titan deck,
Amulet
right? Yeah.
Titan deck.
I really enjoy. Okay, so of all like modern players or all modern games, especially in Singapore, like I really enjoy watching Pichun play. Like
That's the handshake.
his deck is versatile, but it needs a good pilot, and he is a fantastic pilot for this deck. All right, so yeah, Pichun takes it 2-0 against Ray, who was playing Storm. Yeah. So Ray, it looks like Ray bordered in like bounce spells. I guess those are ways that you deal with the what you call it,
Primeval
with
Titan.
Primeval Titans. Yeah, big stuff. But Pichun being a bit more proactive and playing Rurik Tar, just like what the hell, man. Okay, we are going to go for a short break. I'll put on a replay of our our invitationals last week. But before we go, just want to remind you that you can join us on the stream, twitch.tv/Grey Ogre Games, every Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Singapore time. If you miss the stream, just go on down to YouTube, youtube.com/Grey Ogre Games. And do check out our website, greyogregames.com, to find out more about how you can join the Grey Ogre Games invitationals for this year.
And
Alright.
of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. Okay, we're out of here for a while, but we'll be back, so don't go away.